Very strong.
Can you start? We're waiting for you.
With your kind permission, if we may commence. Pakistan's blatant attempt to internationalize the very sensitive situation in Jammu and Kashmir, a situation in which they have been an agent provocator for over 2.5 decades now, needs to be condemned in the strongest terms possible. However, this also raises a very vital question about the complete absence of not only a strategy but even a tactical approach which the Modi government has qua Pakistan. When was the last time that India heard a statement from the Secretary General of the United Nations on Kashmir? If my memory serves me correctly, throughout the 10 years of the UPA government, there was never an attempt to interfere. When was the last time that you heard the United States talk about resolving Kashmir through talks between India, Pakistan and the Kashmiri people? It's absolutely a flagrant violation of the position that India has consistently taken, that all issues with Pakistan will be sorted out bilaterally. The belligerence and the impertinence which is emanating out of both the security and the political establishment in Pakistan is to a very large measure because the BJP NDA government, the Prime Minister, has failed to craft a coherent policy towards Pakistan. And if you look at the trajectory of India's approach towards Pakistan over the past 26 months, it evidences the assertion that we are making. In May 2014, Prime Minister Modi invited Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif for his coronation, swearing in. Then you had the Foreign Secretary level talks being called off because the Pakistani High Commissioner chose to invite the Hurriyat. After that, you saw unprecedented tension and firing both on the line of control and the international border. Tension and firing which had never been seen in the 10 years before that. After that, the Ufa fiasco takes place. Then you have the attack in Gurdaspur. It is followed by some secret parleys between the two NSAs in Bangkok, whose details have not emerged till now. Then the Prime Minister decides to airdrop into Lahore. Why? Nobody knows till today. Then you have the attack in Pathankot. Then you have the invitation to the Pakistani investigating agency, an invitation which was never reciprocated by allowing the NIA to travel to Pakistan. So therefore, if you look at it in a sense, Government of India's policy towards Pakistan has been a continuing story of U-turns, somersaults and flip-flops. And this, unfortunately, and it's indeed very unfortunate, has undermined India's national security. We would like to ask this government that the time has come for the Prime Minister to tell the nation that what did he achieve during his visit to Lahore 6 months ago. What is the discussion between the two NSAs which took place in Bangkok, and now, if some of the stories doing the rounds are correct, there was another secret meeting in Paris. The India-Pakistan relationship is a contentious relationship, is a sensitive relationship, and we do expect that this government handles such an intricate situation in a far more mature manner than what they have done in the past 25 months. हिंदी में जम्मू कश्मीर में जो संवेदनशील परिस्थिति है उसका जिस तरह से पाकिस्तान ने अंतर्राष्ट्रीयकरण करने की कोशिश की है, उसकी जितनी भर्त्सना की जाए उतनी कम है। पर उसके साथ साथ एक बहुत ही बुनियादी सवाल खड़ा होता है कि ये परिस्थिति आज यहां तक इसलिए पहुंची है क्योंकि एनडीए भाजपा सरकार, प्रधानमंत्री श्री नरेंद्र मोदी की पाकिस्तान के प्रति कोई नीति नहीं है। और इसका सबसे बड़ा प्रमाण यह है कि अगर आप संयुक्त राष्ट्र महासंघ के महासचिव का कश्मीर पे अगर ये बयान छोड़ दे और याद करने की कोशिश करें कि इससे पहले कब ऐसा बयान आया था, तो शायद वो किसी के संज्ञान में भी ना हो। आज से पहले पिछले 10 वर्ष में हमें तो यह बात याद नहीं है कि अमेरिका की तरफ से ऐसा बयान आया हो कि कश्मीर की परिस्थिति पाकिस्तान, भारत और कश्मीर के लोगों को मिल बैठ के हल करने की जरूरत है। ये भारत के अंदरूनी मामलों में और जो एक प्रिंसिपल्ड पोजीशन भारत ने ली है पाकिस्तान के प्रति, ये उसका उल्लंघन है। जिस तरह के बयानात पाकिस्तान की तरफ से आए हैं, चाहे उनके फौज के जर्नैल हों, चाहे राजनेता हों, उस सब का कारण यह है कि पिछले 2 वर्ष में भाजपा एनडीए की सरकार ने एक बहुत ही लचीली नीति पाकिस्तान के प्रति अपनाई है। ये वही लोग हैं जो विपक्ष में कहा करते थे कि हम एक बहुत मस्कुलर पॉलिसी इख्तियार करेंगे। किसी 56 इंच की छाती की भी बात किया करते थे। उससे पहले हॉट परसूट की भी बात किया करते थे। पर वास्तविकता यह है कि आप मई 2014 में अपनी ताजपोशी पे प्रधानमंत्री नवाज शरीफ को आमंत्रित करते हैं। 3 महीने बाद विदेश सचिव स्तर की बातचीत रद्द करते हैं। फिर नियंत्रण रेखा और अंतर्राष्ट्रीय सीमा के ऊपर जिस तरह का तनाव पैदा होता है, जिस तरह की फायरिंग होती है, वो शायद पिछले 10 साल में ना हुई हो। उसके बाद ऊफा के समझौते पर अभी शाही सूखती भी नहीं है कि पाकिस्तान उसको उठा के कूड़ेदान में फेंक देता है। उसके बावजूद एनएसए स्तर की बातचीत बैंकॉक में होती है, गोपनीय बातचीत जिसके बारे में आज तक कोई वेरवा नहीं है। फिर प्रधानमंत्री अचानक लाहौर चले जाते हैं। क्या करने गए, उसके पीछे क्या मंशा थी, उसमें से क्या निकला, आज तक देश को उसके बारे में कोई जानकारी नहीं है। गुरदासपुर का हमला होता है, पठानकोट में हमला होता है, भारत के एनआईए को पाकिस्तान जाने की अनुमति नहीं मिलती, इसके बावजूद कि पाकिस्तान के जो जांच एजेंसी है उसको आप पठानकोट आमंत्रित करते हैं। तो कुल मिलाकर जिस तरह से इस सरकार ने पाकिस्तान के साथ व्यवहार रखा है, जिस लचीले किस्म का व्यवहार रखा है, उससे भारत की सुरक्षा के ऊपर आंच आई है। भारत की सुरक्षा, उससे राष्ट्रीय सुरक्षा कमजोर हुई है। हम सरकार से ये चाहते हैं कि प्रधानमंत्री जी को यह बताना चाहिए मुल्क को कि लाहौर वो क्या करने गए थे, उसमें से क्या निकला, उसके पीछे सरकार का नजरिया क्या था। जो ये राष्ट्रीय सुरक्षा सलाहकारों के बीच बात चल रही है, बैंकॉक में हुई, कुछ लोग कहते हैं अभी पेरिस में भी कोई गोपनीय वार्ता हुई है, इसका एजेंडा क्या है? क्योंकि जिस तरह से यह सरकार व्यवहार कर रही है, एक मैच्योर और एक कुशल कूटनीति का यह प्रमाण नहीं है। फ्लोज ऑल योर्स। Well, Pakistan needs to be deprecated in the strongest terms possible. Pakistan has no business to be interfering into the internal affairs of India. Jammu and Kashmir is not even an issue, or the situation in Jammu and Kashmir, if I were to correct myself, is not even an issue which is within the purview of the bilateral format. If at all there is a disturbance, and there is one, and it's extremely unfortunate, but that is for the government of India and the government of Jammu and Kashmir to handle. Pakistan has no business to be interfering into it. But what needs to be reflected and introspected is as to why we have reached such a pass that Pakistan has become so emboldened. It's primarily the result of a complete non-policy which this government has towards Pakistan over the past 26 months. देखिए, पाकिस्तान या उनकी सरकार या उनके जो हुक्मरान है या उनकी जो फौज है, उसको बिल्कुल कोई अख्तियार नहीं है भारत के अंदरूनी मामलों में दखल देने का। और हर ऐसी कोशिश कि जितनी निंदा की जाए उतनी कम है, पर इसके साथ साथ हम लोगों को इस बात पे भी विचार करना चाहिए कि यह परिस्थिति क्यों उत्पन्न हुई है। और उसका बहुत बड़ा कारण यह है कि ये सरकार जो मस्कुलर कूटनीति की बात करती थी, 56 छाती की बात करती थी, पिछले 2 वर्ष में पाकिस्तान के प्रति इनकी नीति पूरी तरह से लचीली रही है। वो 5 और 6 के बीच में कहीं पे दशमलव लग गया है। देखिए, जम्मू कश्मीर की परिस्थिति अभी भी संवेदनशील बनी हुई है और हर भारतीय का यह फर्ज बनता है कि ऐसी जटिल परिस्थिति से निपटने के लिए जो प्रयास भारत के सुरक्षा बल कर रहे हैं उसकी हमायत और उसकी समर्थन होना चाहिए। पर इसके साथ साथ अगर पीडीपी के सांसद कुछ कहते हैं तो सबसे पहले उसके ऊपर पीडीपी और भाजपा की सरकार का क्या नजरिया है वो साफ होना चाहिए, और उसके बाद अगर कोई प्रतिक्रिया बनती हो उस नजरिए के ऊपर तो हम आपके समक्ष रखेंगे। देखिए, आपकी बात सही है कि बैठक हुई, बैठक में विचार विमर्श हुआ, हमारी जो चिंताएं थी हमने उनके समक्ष रखी, उनकी जो बात थी वो गौर से सुनी गई, और क्योंकि ये एक प्रिलिमिनरी मीटिंग थी तो ये तय हुआ है कि ये जो बातचीत का सिलसिला है ये बातचीत के सिलसिले को जारी रखा जाएगा।
अनिल जी, मेरा एक सवाल ये है कि आप सूचना प्रधानमंत्री थे, तो आपने जाकिर नाइक को बैन नहीं किया था जब भी उसने इतने चैनल भाषण दिए थे।
Manish, I want to add to this. In his press conference, he said that his channel was not given downlinking facility. There have also been reports that the former Minority Affairs Minister wrote to you as the IT Minister, and he's been targeted to this channel, the Muslim channel. So, what is your response to it?
Well, I know this absurd controversy has been going on for the last 3 days. And for the sake of propriety, I was choosing not to react to it. But let me put the facts straight to you. As I understand it correctly, Peace TV had applied for uplinking permission in the September of 2008. In the September of 2008. That permission was refused by a UPA government. Then they reapplied for permission in the February of 2009. That application was also turned down by a UPA government. In the December of 2012, when I was the Information and Broadcasting Minister, there were reports that certain channels are being illegally downlinked in India by certain cable operators. There were about 26 channels, most of them Pakistan-based channels, but one of them was the UAE-based Peace TV. At that point in time, in terms of the Cable Television Networks Regulation Act of 1995, we wrote to the concerned district magistrates that all those cable operators who are illegally downlinking these channels, they need to be proscribed. In other words, action needs to be taken against those cable operators who are violating the act, which does not permit channels which do not have downlinking permission to be shown in India. So therefore, if anybody is trying to suggest that the UPA government did not take action against Peace TV, he's possibly living in cuckoo's land. Now coming to the question of the letter which the Minorities Affairs Minister had ostensibly written to me. Well, first of all, I have no recollection of any such letter. But the usual process is that if somebody was to write to the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting that a particular channel is violating the program and the advertising code, then the ministry would send a notice to that channel and ask for an explanation as to why this was happening. And in this particular case, like hundreds of other cases, the same procedure was followed. I will not repeat it in Hindi. That ends it.
You're not responding to what Zakir Naik says. He's saying that he was not given permission because there was a conspiracy against him because he's a Muslim. That's what he said.
Well, the permission was refused much before my time. So therefore, it would be appropriate that you address the question to people who were ministers in the September of 2008 and the February of 2009.
But sir, I have a question relating to Arunachal. We know the protest is coming up. What is the Congress's plan, for instance, if the government does not, accord the permission that Mr. Nabam-Bukhi has sought for more time, one? And secondly, how confident is the Congress regarding the numbers in Arunachal?
Well, first of all, the Supreme Court decision in the case of Arunachal Pradesh, following the decision of both the High Court and the Supreme Court in the case of Uttarakhand, once again reinforces the fact that the Narendra Modi government has absolutely no respect for democracy. They have misused and abused the instrumentalities of the state, including the office of the governor, in order to undermine democratically elected opposition governments. Now, when for the first time the Supreme Court actually restored the clock back to the 15th of December 2015 and put the incumbent chief minister back into office, the central government, again through the governor, is now trying to undermine the essence and the spirit of the Supreme Court judgment. There are clearly laid down recommendations, both in the Sarkaria Commission report, if I remember correctly, and various other pronouncements of the Apex Court, that reasonable time must be given to the chief minister or to a political party to prove its majority on the floor of the House. The manner in which the governor is trying to hustle the decision, ostensibly on the instructions of the central government, again orchestrating a command performance, is nothing but a very crude attempt to undermine the very strong indictment of this government by the Supreme Court.
एक तो पहला मनुष्य ये है कि हार्दिक पटेल से रिहा हुए। उन्होंने कहा कि मुझे 56 इंच का सीना नहीं चाहिए, मुझे हमारा हक चाहिए, हमारी बेटी को हक चाहिए 56 इंच का सीना। दूसरा सवाल है कि लोकसभा चुनाव जब हुआ था 2014 तो उसके पहले राज्यों के चुनाव में भी हमेशा बीजेपी आपसे पूछती थी कि अपना चेहरा बताइए, किसके नाम पे आप लड़ने जा रहे हैं। अब उत्तर प्रदेश में आपने चेहरा दिया है, लेकिन बीजेपी की तरफ से न अभी कोई चेहरा आया है और न ही उम्मीद है कि कुछ दिनों में आने वाला है। तो क्या बीजेपी से आपको सवाल दोहराएंगे?
देखिए, जहां तक हार्दिक पटेल का सवाल है, उनका एक अपना नजरिया है, और जो उसकी मांग है या जो उनकी मांग है उस पर गुजरात प्रदेश कांग्रेस कमेटी ने बहुत ही विस्तृत तौर पर टिप्पणी की है। तो उसमें मैं ना कोई जमा कर रहा हूं और ना ही उसमें कुछ घटाने की कोशिश कर रहा हूं। तो वो टिप्पणी जो है वो कांग्रेस का उस मुद्दे के ऊपर स्टैंड है। जहां तक भारतीय जनता पार्टी की बात है, देखिए, हम अपना काम करते हैं, हम अपना चुनाव अपनी रणनीति से लड़ते हैं। भारतीय जनता पार्टी की रणनीति है या नहीं है, चेहरा है या नहीं है, चेहरा काला है सफेद है, ये उनका अख्तियार है, इसमें हम नहीं जाना चाहते। हम उत्तर प्रदेश में एक स्वच्छ सरकार देना चाहते हैं और उस चीज को मद्देनजर रखते हुए, उसको केंद्र बिंदु बनाते हुए कांग्रेस ने पिछले 2 दिन में अपनी उत्तर प्रदेश की रणनीति आपके सामने रखी है।
सर अकेले देंगे या ओबीसी के साथ?
Returning to Arunachal affair, yesterday Kaliko Kul, he paraded before the media about 36 MLAs, which appear to be clearly a majority figure. So, returning to the numbers game, it seems Nabam Jyoti is not able to really muster the numbers.
Well, as I said, that this is the most blatant misuse of the instrumentalities of the state. First, you misuse the office of the governor to topple a democratically elected government. Then you misuse the instrumentalities of the state in order to change the facts on the ground. And then you claim that you are democratic. In fact, if you look at the entire Arunachal episode, from day one, right till what the governor is doing today, it is the most flagrant attempt at subverting the constitution repeatedly ad nauseum.
The current income tax amnesty scheme which the government has brought in, do you think the government is on the right track? And the second question is that the SIT Black Money has said that any transactions with cash above 3 lakhs should not be done, as the government is kicking over it. Don't you think that will increase that much?
Well, first of all, let me take the questions in the reverse. Insofar as the recommendations of the SIT are concerned, we've only seen news reports of those recommendations. Those recommendations would have to be studied, and then only is a coherent response possible. Insofar as the amnesty scheme is concerned, if I remember correctly, that the Congress had used a very interesting pejorative for it, fair and lovely. These are the same guys who promised to bring all the black money from abroad back in 100 days. And now they are doing everything possible in order to legalize and legitimize what they had been dubbing as illegal, promising to bring back in 100 days. And so therefore, this clearly and completely exposes the double standards of this government, the double speak of this government. There is one yardstick when you are in the opposition and a completely different policy when you are in government. Aditi, you were saying something?
In the Arunachal Pradesh judgment delivered by the Supreme Court, it has been clearly said that the MLAs who were disqualified by the Speaker will no longer stand disqualified. And the court has also said that the Speaker has no power to disqualify MLAs when a motion of no confidence is pending against him. So a similar situation prevailed in Uttarakhand. Now your 9 rebel MLAs in Uttarakhand are going to move Supreme Court under the ambit of this new order. How do you look at this situation? Because had these been disqualified, you would have had the numbers perhaps in Arunachal.
Well, you're really talking about a hypothetical situation whereby some people are planning to move the Supreme Court and try and extrapolate from the Arunachal verdict. Well, ultimately, let's wait for them to move to the Supreme Court. And every case stands on its own facts. The facts of the Arunachal case are very different from the facts in the Uttarakhand case. So if at all somebody is planning to move the Supreme Court, we will await a judicial determination. Last question. देखिए, रणनीति का खुलासा समय आने पर होता है, तो समय आने दीजिए। जो भी उक्त रणनीति होगी, उत्तर प्रदेश की जनता को एक स्वच्छ सरकार देने की, वो रणनीति कांग्रेस पार्टी अपनाएगी। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। हाँ हाँ, देखिए, बुनियादी सवाल ये है कि जब पीस टीवी पर रोक लगा दी गई थी और जो केबल ऑपरेटर उसको अवैध तौर पर दिखा रहे थे या दर्शा रहे थे, उनके खिलाफ कार्रवाई की गई। उसके बावजूद अगर पिछले 2 वर्ष में पीस टीवी भारत में दिखाया जा रहा था, तो क्या एनडीए भाजपा की सरकार सोई हुई थी? और दूसरी बात यह है कि सरकार को अगर उनके पास प्रमाण है तो फौजदारी के कानून के तहत मुकदमा दर्ज करना चाहिए और दर्ज करके उनको भारत तलब करना चाहिए। Well, I have not seen the statement, so therefore only when I see the statement would I be in a position to react to it.
Would you mind calling